Hello there, you beautiful people. My name is Willow, and welcome back to another Supreme Commander Forge Alliance Forever cast from down under, because we've got the Aussies in the game today. Before we get into introducing our players, I would like to say an apology for the lack of content coming out. I've been a little bit sick, and if there's any point where I am not speaking for a little while, that is probably because I muted the mic because I'm having a coughing fit. Overall, hopefully this cast is well, but yet again, still a little bit sick, so hopefully that is not going to impede my abilities today. And with my rambling out of the way, like, comment, subscribe, channel membership, Patreon, all of that stuff you know is down below. Only about 40% of you are subscribed, so make sure you hit that button and ring the bell. With that out of the way, let's go ahead and get into introducing our players, starting with Team 1 in the top, and then Team 2, of course, in the bottom. We're going to go west to east, starting with the electric blue UEF going first land by the name of GFY Depony. And he is going to be rocking this northwestern position for Team 1 as we move on to his first ally, the Yellow Aeon Best Faction, going first land by the name of Steck. Then we're going to move on to the east where we can see ourselves a purple Cybern going first land by the name of Legend of the Stars, naming himself after the very popular competition, and he has gone first land. As we move on to his next ally, over here in the east, we have ourselves a dark green Seraphim going first land by the name of the Core. And then further east to the northeasternmost position, we have ourselves a gray Seraphim going first land by the name of No Bitches. Maidenless. Over to the south of him, his last ally, a red Cybern going first land by the name of Microchip. And I believe that's all for Team 1. As we move on to Team 2, starting in the east, heading to the west, we have Boxeroo, the red-maroon Seraphim going first land. And he's rocking this southeastern position. As to the west of him, there's a light blue Aeon Best Faction going first land by the name of Aaron. To the west of him, we have a green Seraphim going first land by the name of Millenwise. Very, very cool guy. And then up to the west of him, we have ourselves a white UEF by the name of Soulwolf77. And then the last two players in the game, we have ourselves a pink Cybern going first land by the name of Fergus1080 going first land. Then, last but not least for the entire game, we have an orange Cybern going first land by the name of Quasar. And with that out of the way, we can talk about the map, the rating, and all of that fun stuff. 93,000 reclaim and a ton of choke points along with a absurd amount of mass points. Gonna be seeing a lot of high economy play in this game, along with a decent amount of reclaim early for these players. Of course, it being a 5v5, 9,000 is nothing to write home about, but I'm sure that will be ever skyrocketing forward into the stratosphere as we're going to be seeing these players, of course, throw units at each other and create massive reclaim fields. Of course, it's Narox's map generator. It's a 15 by 15 kilometer, hence the black outline on the sides here. And as we look at the ratings, we can see everything from a 200 all the way up to a 1600, so a huge range in ratings. The two highest rated players being in the northwestern and southeastern corner with Boxeroo and Depony specifically. And that is all of our kind of preamble spoken about here. We're just kind of waiting for these players to kick it off. And yeah, I guess I'll just go ahead and do the update thing. Yeah, been a little bit sick. Don't know if it's allergies or some kind of chest infection like Guile had, but gonna try and get out a few casts here at the very end portion of April, and hope you all kind of appreciate that. I don't know if we got around to all of the replay reviews for April. If we didn't get around to you, please just comment or just message me on Discord about it, and we'll make it up for you in some way, shape, or form. I do yet again apologize for the inconvenience in this last end of April kind of time frame, as players continue to expand out, grab those mechs points that oh so rightfully belong to them. We'll speed it up a little bit as there's not very much going on. We don't even have an early bomber out for any of these players, so nothing extremely extravagant going on for anybody as of this moment. Gonna go ahead and look at the incomes as we're reaching around the 4-minute mark, and we can see certain players going to be getting a little bit higher based off of their positions. Some of these positions spawn closer to a lot of mexes. The 2 highest rated players spawn in an area where they're going to have some very safe mexes in the back, so they're going to be very safe to eco in the back, and they're both going to have to push forward, and maybe we're going to see some fire basing if I had to make a wild guess out of these higher rated players here. A hunter down here to the south going to be shooting a mass extractor, but soon retargets onto the engineer that was building it. Gonna pick up a kill there as Boxeroo comes over and slaps it down with his own commander. We have speed and range, our first upgrade on the cards for anybody this game, coming out from Quasar over on the western side, and he's already 50% done, so he's going to have that done very soon. Going to be able to put pressure onto Depony very quickly. Over here on the eastern side, Microchip expanding aggressively and trying to get all of the mass points under his control as quickly as possible, hoping to see a lot of factories come out from him. Otherwise, he's going to have trouble holding on to this territory, as there's a decent number of factories already built up for our blue Aeon down here on the bottom, Aaron, as T2 is started up for Microchip. He is within range of a few Aurora, but he has his own kind of Mantis and Hunter force nearby, which he can use to try and help defend himself, if that is what is called for. And the comm of Aaron also kind of in this territory, not really threatening the comm of Microchip just yet. Here in the center of the core, moving up with his commander, he's going to be able to get first dibs on this kind of area right here. Going to have to see if he can manage to hold on to that, as there's a few units coming out from Millenwise to pressure this position. Over here to the west, gun speed and range done. Stealth now on the way for Quasar. Over here to the east, a little bit of raiding now coming out from Boxeroo towards the north and towards Microchip. He has a lot of factories queued up, but not a lot built so far, so he's going to be kind of running a little bit scarce on land units, and now in threat of dying. In fact, he should just be dead here. He definitely has to cancel that T2 upgrade, and even then it's dicey if he gets out. The question is, of course, is this full share? And I do believe it is going to be. Let's go ahead and just check. It is indeed full share. So if he dies, his base goes to the highest scoring player for his team, which is the core at the moment. And that will be something they all need to put into their minds and think about. Aaron going to fall back as a few units from Microchip show up to kind of protect him here. The raiding out of Boxeroo getting a lot of effective damage done, shutting down a lot of this expansion, and a lot of those factories that were queued up are just not going to be. This is why, in general, I feel like building a lot of factories in your main base first is a little bit better. He was going for the more spread out your factories with your expansion. But it's just a little bit slower overall, and he's going up against multiple opponents, so it's going to be a bit difficult for him now in this position. Over here to the north, that speed and range and stealth upgrade rush coming out from Quasar is going to be showing its fruits as of the moment. There's range now on the way and speed finished up for Steck, so that could be a little bit of a speed bump in the way, but T2 on the way for Depony. He could get up a T2 PD very quickly, but he doesn't have a lot of units around, and a T2 PD does go down to a gun comm, so Quasar are going to be able to really push quite heavily on this western side if he so pleases. And he does have some mild support starting to show up in the form of Fergus 1080's comm and a few units coming out from Fergus to help out even. Depony now throwing up T1 PD, which I think is the better call. Going for T2 here would just be a matter of getting the comm of Quasar to get up there and do some overcharge damage to it. Now going to get up a T2 PD after those T1, and that's going to kind of shut down Quasar's attempt. He does get those 3 T1 mexes, which may slow down the economy of Depony ever so slightly. On the eastern side, Microchip going yet again for that T2 upgrade. He's going to try and get that built up relatively soon, but he's lost a lot of territory due to having to cancel and due to simply not having the factories to produce units to keep up with the opposition, as Boxeroo goes for a T2 upgrade of his own. Sorry if you heard any kind of background noise or my voice sounded weird there, was just kind of repositioning in my chair. As Stek moves forward to put pressure onto the comm of Quasar and the units of Quasar, of course. Stek going to be using that extra tiny bit of range you get from the Aeon comm versus the other comms when you get double gun on the Aeon. He is going to start eating some fire from the comm of Quasar, but you can just fall back. I don't think Quasar is going to fully commit to this. T1 PD that was built up by Quasar there going to be going down, and Stek going to be gaining some decent territory here in the middle. We don't have as much action going on, but there is some pressuring onto the core from Aaron and Millenwise respectively as they start putting some pressure on over here. Speed on the way now for Aaron. Would be not so surprised to see range follow that up soon after. T2 about to finish up for Microchip and has already finished up for Boxeroo, so going to be seeing some point defense wars if I had to predict. Speed and range now on the way for Fergus, who has a few units over here in this area and is building a forward production facility with 3 factories surrounding a T1 mechs. 7 factories built up here in the middle for Core. Core really investing in holding onto this territory, and those factories going to make it very easy for him. That's such a close reinforce point, and if you ever push onto it, a lot of these factories will be able to soak damage. So he has a very strong holding right here. His ally Legend of the Stars kind of fire basing, building some T1 PD in this choke point, which is going to be very effective in the T1 phase. We're going to have to see if that holds up when T2 starts coming out onto the field. Speaking of T2, do we see any players getting T2 tech as of yet? Yes, we do. We can see that Soulwolf has T2 on land, Millenwise T2 air. Don't see any other kind of teched up land factories on Team 2, but on Team 1, let's go ahead and see. Do we have T2 land for anybody? Not seeing it. I'm not seeing T2 tech upgrades for anybody except for the T2 and almost T3 air coming out from our Gray Seraphim No Bitches up here in the corner. So that's going to be significant. Bit of fighting going on. Legend of the Stars, I didn't mention it, but he has stealth and gun as well on his comm. T2 now on the way for Core, as Microchip is trying to build up a bit of a fire base, but is unable to with the comm of Boxeroo, along with some engineer support, able to outbuild him on the T2 static defenses kind of front. And all of these units coming out from Boxeroo really going to be putting a lot of pressure down onto the Red Cybran over here on the northeastern side. The comm of No Bitches coming forward, going to be trying to help defend this area held by Microchip. Microchip going to need to fall back a little bit, and he really needs to get some build power and some economy into static defenses, or just get out enough units to kind of hold this back, as Speed and Range is about to finish up now for Boxeroo, who's getting a lot of pressure and a lot of value out of his units over here on the eastern side. On the western side, a lot more static, not very much fighting going on, so no reason to look at that as of the moment. A bit of a fight going on. Going to be getting into the main base. There's a decent number of Zooies, so the structures at threat here are seeing multiple radars now go down for Boxeroo, which is never going to feel good. And probably going to see a lot of power go down. I think he's overbuilt on power, so he can afford to lose quite a little bit here. Never a good sign to be losing this much infrastructure this early. He's going to be in a lot of trouble, as that gun speed and range plus T2 comm is going to be starting to bear down on his main base. He's down to 5 mass extractors, and surprised we haven't seen any of these T1 mass extractors go up in flames due to the Zooies as of yet. And now Microchip down to only 2 T1 P-Gens. He's going to be in a lot of pain very soon. You're going to need a lot of support coming out from that Gray Seraphim, his ally to the north, No Bitches, to be able to hold on here. As Fergus continues to push forward and fire into some point defense over here on the western side. And Quasar kind of getting a little bit quieter, not really doing the same. Would say Boxeroo having a lot more success than the Pony in these positions. We do have to keep an eye on these higher rated players. Overall, economically though, Depony definitely doing a little bit better than Boxeroo, at over 10 mass a second ahead of his counterpart in that respect, as he's really just ecoed up really hard behind this forward position. Hasn't invested in teching up his land forces whatsoever, but has managed to set up a bit of a fire base and is going to be able to upgrade these mexes without too much of a care for what his opponents are doing. Steck now walking forward. Fergus with that stealth upgrade getting some free damage down onto the comm. A couple of PD lurking around, but that's not going to stop a upgraded comm anytime soon as Fergus tries to put the pressure down onto Steck. In the center, a fire base now being built up by Core. A lot of fire basing in general, now fire base over here. Tactical missile launcher, now launching missiles out towards the base of No Bitches, and might be able to get a decent bit of value here. Are we going to see any kind of TMD going up very soon? He needs to react very quickly, otherwise he's going to be losing a lot. Only takes a couple of missiles to kill off that T3 Pigeon, and if that goes down, it's going to be brutal. Does manage to get up an or a TMD. It's up a couple, in fact, and that's going to kind of shut down this TML out for Boxeroo. Might be able to get a little bit of damage done if it has the range to the mass extractors. He may be able to go for that mass extractor right there and get a bit more value, but overall going to get almost nothing with that tactical missile launcher as it wasn't able to get the second missile down onto that power generator. Would like to maybe even see a couple T1 engineers set to repair that, or once you get another T3 Pigeon up, reclaim it and rebuild it, because that's just a little bit precarious for my tastes. But of course not me playing in this game. Strat Bomber out for No Bitches. Has yet to pick up any meaningful damage, up to 6 kills but 88 mass killed. Is going to drop a bomb right here and going to be able to get off a kill onto the T2 power grid of Soulwolf. So that is going to be a valuable bomb drop out for the bomber for No Bitches. Does of course drop that very juicy wreck of a T3 bomber onto the doorstep of Soulwolf. But overall, slowing down the power generation of your opponents is a very good way to slow them down. A lot of pressure has been applied over here towards Core in the middle, but Core has just kind of absorbed it gracefully, and he does not seem to be stifled by the 2 to 3 players at any given time throwing units his way. Fergus has been slowly but surely gaining some territory over here on the eastern side. He's been pushing back Steck. There's a few units over here from Depony that can help out, and Steck now at T2 land showing up with some obsidians that he can use to kind of bully back this T2, T1 force. He of course also has his gun comm still. It's a little bit low on HP, but not at a point yet where it's too worrying to continue using it. And of course some reinforcements from Depony, and now reinforcements from Legend of the Stars going up to try and help out. Over here, there's a large T1 land force engaging. Depony going to be taking the worst end of this trade, as he's going to lose all of his T1 land units to the combined force of Quasar and Fergus. And overall, looking like a relatively even state of the game. I would say that Team 2 overall definitely has more map control, but Team 1 does have more economy, so they've managed to consolidate a little bit more mass extractor upgrade into their bases while not quite having the territorial advantage. Let's see if they can manage to hold on to that, as it is still a very slim margin between these teams. Some Flink Hammers thrown up over here to the east. A bit of a fire base for Millenwise against the fire base of Core. Fergus still out here with the comm, still trying to get some value out of that Cybran stealth gun comm. He's managed to pick up 71 kills, but only 2 ranks of vet, so killing off a lot of low value targets. Now up to 3 ranks of veterans as he kills off an Obsidian. He's continuing to apply pressure with this T1 and gun comm force, although I don't know that will be the end-all be-all, as Depony starts walking forward to start building up a fire base to try and shield Steck. Speaking of shield, he has that upgrade on the way for his comm, A little bit risky to get it in this position, but he does still have a decent number of obsidians here to try and phase tank the damage coming out from the Kama Fergus. And if he gets shield finished up, it'll be very powerful for him. Would even like to maybe see Chrono instead of shield here. Pretty sure Chrono is a bit cheaper. He could definitely use that to great effect as his opponent has mainly T1 units. And his T2 force would greatly improve their combat effectiveness with fighting stunned units. As over here to the east, we have some tactical missile launchers out from Aaron. Those Eversongs, or Evensongs, that are firing into this fire base. There's only 3 TMD. Is that going to be enough to stop this? No, the shields are slowly going to start going down. That's going to be a little bit difficult to deal with. He needs to push out and be able to kill off this building force of TML, or mobile missile launcher, I guess is what I should say. Boxeroo still kind of pushing up with his own kind of fire base over here on the eastern side. And I was speaking earlier about building a bit of a fire base for Stek. The pony has decided that is his best use of time and resources right now. Try and help out his yellow Aeon ally to the east. And over here in the center core, attempting an assault on Millenwise, but there is definitely a no man's land, as neither side quite able to push the other's fire bases quite well, or quite effectively. And there is now those tactical missile defense have now gone down. The Evensongs push up a little bit further and are going to continue firing. Once that shield goes down, once again, going to be able to start getting damage onto things like this T2P generator, or P generator. Why nobody says P generator? It's P gen. Going to be able to get damage down onto that, and maybe even take down a little bit more, or maybe not. Going to have to go through even the other shield generator, as a T2 artillery has been built up over here. I lost my legs invading Mars ×3 over here, with the auto name for veterancy that Melonwise uses. And we kind of sit back and chill for a second. T3 now on the way for the pony. Can he afford that? He's living off of overflow for energy. And, whew, coughing fit's really getting me. As we go ahead and see Core really struggling to deal with all of these mobile missile launchers, loses some T2 artillery, starting to slowly collapse under the combined assault of, well, this T2 artillery out from, my mass could have been better spent on eco, wow. This static siege out from Millenwise with the mobile missile launcher siege from Aaron, really putting pressure on Core. Doesn't seem as though he's going to lose the position. Does lose some of the infrastructure and some of the defenses though, which never feels good to happen to you. T3 still on the way for the pony. Don't see any other major upgrades going on, but could just be a trick of me looking at the pony's cam and then looking away. All those upgrade written out things. The only one that's going to show up is his now. Let's go ahead and look at the overall economies of each team. 700, oh nope, that was just the spike. 620 to about 6, yeah, they're about dead even. Maybe Team 1 is ahead by 10 to 20 mass a second still. Depony, the large leader in this game with 235 mass a second already at 20 minutes. 154 for No Bitches. 108 for Stek, and everybody else on Team 1 is now below 100. 187 for Boxeroo, Quasor sitting on 170, and Aaron sitting on 122, and 103 for Fergus, and the last two players for Team 2 now below that 100 mass a second mark. And that's going to be a interesting kind of turn of events economically. Gonna have to see if these players can keep up with each other economically and see what they can manage to do with their mass incomes. As right now I think the front runners are definitely going to be Boxeroo and Pony up here. They of course are the highest rated players, and they both spawn in the same position, which doesn't seem to be too strapped for mass. I think Boxeroo has a little bit more room to expand his economy, as he's managed to gain quite a bit more territory than his blue adversary. Down here in this central kind of corridor, Core still holding on quite well to this area. Might even have enough units with a sneaky Shift G move and targeting on the shields that he could take over this territory, but I think he might be a little bit coy, a little bit shy to try it, as his last assault did not go particularly well against that position. A Monkey Lord has been finished up over here. Did not even see the notify for that, but a Monkey Lord has finished up for Quasar. Gonna have to see where this is gonna go and what it might end up achieving. Go ahead and track on that while we zoom out to look at the rest of the map. Really a bit stagnant on the eastern side, and it was stagnant on the western side, but this Monkey Lord could stand to open things up. A Ravager has been built up for Depony, which is going to mean this Monkey Lord's going to want to avoid that area. Damage and range finishing up for Depony, as he's managed to get a T3 Pigeon online. Going to be boosting his economy just a little bit more. As the Monkey Lord continues to connive its way down to the, or I guess up to the north. See a brick on the cliff line over there. Does seem to be pretty interested in this kind of corridor right here, to the east of Steck and the west of Legend of the Stars. Might be able to get some decent damage done. I'm sure that this has been spotted out by the players on Team 1, and they're going to want to come up with a solution to this. Seeing some T1 bombers start coming out from various players. Airplay going to be very important for dealing with this Monkey Lord, I feel, as a large group of units now out from Fergus going to be trying to support the Monkey Lord in its push. I think I'd like to see Soul Wolf and even these straggling units for Quasar commit to this push. I think this push is make or break for this western side. GC on the way, but never going to be finished up. A lot of T2 PD now being thrown up by Steck, trying everything they can to kind of just stop this advance. A Monkey Lord of their own on the way. Legend of the Stars is going to go for the counter experimental, while Steck is just going to try and very quickly build up some kind of defense against this. The Monkey Lord going to continue its path forward. The T2 PD really wasting a lot of their shots now, or they were on the T1 spam there. T2 PD getting a ton of damage in on this Monkey Lord. This Monkey Lord may be dead on arrival, honestly. It manages to kill off the higher tech units and that army out from Legend of the Stars. But is that enough? Starts focusing down the PD. Maybe if he can kill off all the PD and get a rank of veterancy, it could still be useful here, but looking like it's in a bit of a desperate situation. ASF come in to try and protect it. Unfortunately not going to be able to do so as the Monkey Lord goes down and somebody pauses. Seems as though that's the pony. And that Monkey Lord in prime position to be reclaimed by all of these high-tech engineers out from Steck, and that can be thrown right into the GC or into anybody on his team's coffers. I'm sure it will be used pretty well. The point defense war over here on this eastern side going very well for Boxeroo. He seems to just be able to walk up and build what he wants, and it seems as though Microchip just does not have a recourse. Of course, Microchip sitting on those 5 mass extractors, and it might be even less here soon. Lowest economy player in the game by far at 28 mass a second. Doesn't really have a chance of competing with Boxeroo's actually 300 mass a second that he's able to throw into this assault with his comm at any given time. Alrighty. So, that's a very nice little play. A support commander gifted from Depony over to Stek. Gonna be able to use that to go back into the base, get up some UEF tech. Do you have anything spicy going on in these bases? Nuke launcher on the way for Quasar. Gonna have to keep an eye on that, see if it manages to achieve anything. Haven't seen any nuke defense going up as of the moment, but sure we'll see some as soon as that is scouted, if not a little bit earlier from sheer paranoia. We do have a anti-nuke over here on the field for Depony. That is a probably pure paranoia one. Quantum Gateway, of course, with that support commander we were talking about, the higher tech, walk around and build kind of economy option. The Seraphim, not quite an economy option, as the engineering suite, I believe is what that is, version of the support commanders being built up now via the hands of Boxeroo. And Boxeroo just continues with his point defense war against Microchip. He's just trying desperately to hold on and losing more and more ground by the moment. He does lose one of those T2 mexes, one of the few that he still had, and he's in a very rough spot. As a famous man from Oh Brother, Where Art Thou once said, "Damn, we're in a tight spot." If anybody in the comments wants to go and quote "Oh Brother, Where Art Thou," you will immediately be my favorite commenter of the day. Just leave a bunch of quotes from that movie because it's a fucking masterpiece. I don't know a lot of pop culture, but I know some bangers, okay? If you haven't seen that movie, you're doing yourself a disservice because it's absolutely amazing. Millen-wise pushed off of this position as it seems the artillery battle from this point was won by the core here in the middle. And this position pushed off does not seem as though Legend of the Stars could hold on to it after the Monkey Lord brought all his forces back. Snowwolf, the lowest rated player in the game, or Soulwolf, not Snowwolf. Soulwolf, lowest rated player in the game, not playing too shabbily. He doesn't have a great economy, but he is getting out T3 units, and he has had units this entire time. Maybe a little bit overzealous with the buzz kills, kind of has them everywhere, but better safe than sorry when it comes to buzz kills. You do tend to miss. Hit or miss, huh? I guess you never miss. Guess they never miss. What was that song? It was that horrible song that was popular on TikTok for a little bit. I don't even use TikTok, but I know that TikTok. Monkey Lord, that was being built forever ago, finally finished up by Legend of the Stars. As well as that GC, seemingly got a lot of support from Depony, who now has a ton of T1 engineers in the base of Stek. Bat Boy now on the way for Depony. Probably zoomed a little bit too fast there. Really need to get used to slowing my zooms down. Noticed that in recent casts. I've been doing a really fast zoom thing again. Is it time for me to lower my zoom sensitivity again? Go down to 20. Make everything a little bit more deliberate. As we watch this combat SCU walk forward, gonna be able to kill off a couple T3 mexes, which will be a bit unfortunate, as I'm sure Quasar would much rather have 3 T3 mexes than not. Tactical missile launchers coming in just to make sure that that damage is done. Very unfortunate for the Orange Cybran, who is working on a megalith. Yes, working on a megalith. Why am I stuttering halfway through a word I've said like a million times? And his Liberator nuke launcher is now at about 80 to 90%. Let's do a quick SMD check. Seeing one over here for no bitches. Not seeing one for the core. There's one in Legends base, but not loaded. Deponi's is, of course, loaded. Steck doesn't have one, but I think Steck might be safe enough with the positioning on that he couldn't really be nuked because Deponi has one. So the core, the only player I think under a major threat here. This one not fully loaded, so if it launches relatively soon, could get some damage done onto bitches. And it's very close to finishing. Is Quasar stalling is the question. If he's stalling, he really just needs to stop building that megalith and let that nuke finish. I think the nuke is a bit more higher priority than anything else. As a Fat Boy rolls off the line for Deponi. That spider is still here in the middle. The fire basing war seemingly given up on by Boxeroo, as sniper bots come out onto the field and try and help alleviate the pressure that was placed on Microchip for such a long time, and Boxeroo is walking away. Does seem to be wanting to get on a transport, or nope, maybe not. A transport's just coincidental. As the Fat Boy starts pushing forward, a lack of power, a little bit concerning, as the Fat Boy doesn't have shields at the moment. Not that it needs it at this given second, but you don't want to be caught with your pants down. Fat Boy, an expensive thing to lose for silly reasons. That GC from earlier, still just kind of sitting here in the base of Stack, very defensive GC. Aaron, who we haven't spoken about much this game, is quietly sitting on a decent economy up to 200 mass a second. He's working on his own GC. And he has a decent T3 army building up. And that nuke being launched, it is being launched over here to the north, but the anti-nuke now loaded. So that's not going to land. Very unfortunate. I think if he wasn't stalling, he could definitely have made that work. Core saying, "Let me guess, it's me." Tries to walk his comm out. Even if he were, I think this, if this were to start falling right here, it would have been a perfect prediction. Maybe not. As Millen Wise built a, I would guess, chicken. Yep, he does have a chicken right there. We're gonna fall back after that nuke scare. T3 now on the way for the Red Siren microchip. And until we have some major action pop off, let's go ahead and just speed up the game a little bit, as these players kind of stagnating with fire bases. Fat Boy producing a very beautiful siege in conjunction with some support commanders building a small Clinkhammer fire base. I'm going to be trying to get up some more Clinkhammers. Megalith finishes up for Quasar. Is he going to be able to use that effectively against this Fat Boy? It's going to be very difficult. Has a decent number of bricks, but needs to not dawdle, needs to make a decision. Either you're falling back and going to try and get up some shielding, or pushing forward. I thought I saw another, oh, that's not what I wanted. Another experimental on the way. Yep, we do. Deponi has another Fat Boy on the way, and it's not very far off from completing, so going to be a bit of a dangerous situation for this Megalith if it does continue to push forward. Immediately we can see Deponi falling back with the Fat Boy the second he notices units are incoming, doing the Fat Boy micro justice, also throwing a lot of damage in this Megalith, already losing about 15% of its HP. As over here to the northeast, Chicken finished up for no bitches, going to be pushing forward, going to be able to clear out this fire base, then meticulously put together and now meticulously dismantled the Boxeroo, as everything kind of on this eastern side going to be falling apart with that Chicken. Don't really know if there's a response on this eastern side to the Chicken. Ooh. That's some spicy upgrades. All of these SCUs have teleporter, which means we have a kind of an element of chaos going on over here. In the center over here to the west, huge push coming out from a combined force of Legend of the Stars and the core. And it's all coming down onto Soul Wolf. Is he going to be able to make this happen, or make a defense happen? Kind of only has T2 units standing in the way of this. And when it comes to Bricks, Othams, and Monkey Lords, T2 units just sadly do not cut it. He's going to be forced back quite quickly with this oncoming onslaught of Seraphim and Cybran units. But a GC in the middle, approaching Core's yet again meticulously put together firebase, and very quickly going to be dismantled by that giant face laser of the Aeon, along with the Harbingers. Harbingers not too shabby themselves at cleaning up a firebase with their DPS and relatively low cost. Over here to the northeast, chicken on chicken combat, Millenwise showing up to try and protect this flank for Boxeroo. Although I'm sure he's kind of kicking himself seeing this entire force come in over here. He's wishing the chicken was over here and that Boxeroo were to have been told to handle this on his own. A couple of teleport SCUs coming out, and both of them going for the main base of GFY to Pony, which means, unfortunately, I think it is time for some split screen shenanigans. As here in the center, a huge force now starting to push in, and these combat preset kind of engineering, these engineering preset with tactical missile launcher and teleporter going to very quickly be taking down 4 T3 mexes. And 5th and 6th not very far out of their purview. It's going to be very dangerous for the Pony to be able to deal with that. And we'll go ahead and get rid of the scoreboard momentarily. Do we have another teleport SCU anywhere? Is it teleporting? There was 3 there, so there's another SCU teleporting somewhere. Don't know where that is. Soul Wolf under huge threat. We're going to go ahead and go back to one screen because it's just getting disorienting even for me. Soul Wolf currently running for his life from the Monkey Lord and T3 bot incursion. I swore there was a third one of those SCUs, and I don't know where it went. It's over here to the northeast. It's teleporting once again. Going to be trying to get the peripheral mass extractors of the core taken down. Boxeroo building up an own experimental. Can only assume that's a chicken. So much action going on as the Monkey Lord starts to chase down Soul Wolf. Soul Wolf going down momentarily to the laser on that Monkey Lord. The chicken we were talking about earlier from Millenwise shows up in a defensive manner. Monkey Lord does go down with the explosion and the chicken combination. Over here to the west, 3 Fat Boys managed to clean up that megalith. Probably only 2 in fact, and there's multiple Monkey Lords to defend, but these Fat Boys just making it an impressive situation on the western side for Quasar, who is just in a rough position against the Clank Hammer Fat Boy combination. This Yathoda going to be going down, but it's going down in the middle of all these forces, and there's also some T3 units as well, some GCs showing up to defend against that, so that's going to be cleaned up within a matter of time. The base going over to Boxeroo, unsurprisingly. Boxeroo still with these teleport SCUs. Still managing to get quite a bit done. Has managed to build up a bit of a base over here, but I think this is kind of destined to fail with all of the T1 bombers in the area. This SU trying to teleport out, going to fail and die to the artillery. Quasar going down to what I can only assume to be the combined fire of 3 Fat Boys. I guess that was a matter of time. Just action going on across the map right now. Apologize if I miss it. Trying to cover as much of it as possible. But you know how it is. FAF casting, a lot of times it's herding cats. You're just trying to keep track of everything. Got to keep into account there's 12 players acting at any given time in these bigger 6v6 games, and I'm only one person with so much attention span to give. As the Scorchers, or no, these are Zeus, come in to try and deal some damage to the Fat Boys, but it seems desperate. These Fat Boys going to be pushing in, and it seems as though Fergus just does not have a adequate response to this, if I'm honest. Large air fight happening over here in the east. It does seem as though another good sign for Team 1, who seems to be in a huge position right now, as No Bitches manages to wrestle air control away from Boxeroo. Some strat bombers out from Fergus come in and kill off one of the Fat Boys. If they can manage to get another pass off onto that other Fat Boy and kill it off, it'll be worth it. Even if he loses it, if he knocks him down to just one Fat Boy, that will be huge. And that is going to be very, very useful and going to buy a lot of breathing room for the Pink Seraphim, with multiple Monkey Lords and a Megalith online. Going to be able to hold out a while longer against this. I do think it's still a dire situation, as more Fat Boy are going to be coming online every given second. This Firebase up here to the north still doing surprisingly well. Does he have any more plans for any more of these crazy SCUs? I do not see any, but can't be assured of anything. A lot of SCUs now going down to these Monkey Lords. Doesn't really, it's Depony's economy just absolutely crippled. He was up there with Boxeroo reaching towards 400, but the combination of losing all those mass extractors to this incursion by the teleport SCUs and losing a lot of his economy right there. I mean, I guess all these are combatant presets, so he doesn't have a ton of RAS presets, I would guess. The combatant presets, very expensive to build. Wonder if he's continuing. It does seem as though he's continuing to build them now. Here in the center, GC and Megalith starting to push forward. Aaron had a bunch of GCs. I'm wondering where they all went. Over here to the east, we have we have 3 GCs and 2 chickens. The Goon Squad from Down Under. I'm using Down Under as many times as I can. Down Under is going to be in the damn thumbnail. It's going to be like Cast Down Under. As I do very much so enjoy the Australian players. I've played with them many a times. Not as much recently, but always a blast to play with these characters from the continent of spiders and snakes. AFK GC getting shot by Volthus and T1 bombers is not what you love to see. Although it's going to take a lot of T1 bombers and Volthus to really stop this from being an issue. And I think Microchip is a few lasers to the face away from being turned into a nuclear hellfire. As that chicken gonna die in the base of Microchip, which is incredibly unfortunate. It's gonna help his opponent more than it's gonna help him, that chicken is. The first of the GCs about to go down. The second 2 much healthier and closing in on this base. Another teleport SCU over here, managing to get some damage done. Gonna be teleporting again. This time seemingly back home. The base over here did seem to get cleaned up, and Depony is trying to re-expand to that area. Microchip goes down. Not surprising. I was gonna watch the GCs, but it seems as though other things caught my eyes. And now there's chickens. I'm sure there's a GC or 2 hiding behind the bloom right there. Maybe only 1 GC after all of that. And a couple of chickens going to be able to walk in here. This GC going to take down the air grid. The air advantage still in the hands of Team 1 though. And this is a lot of air power to use. Could just throw this at one of the bases, I'm sure. T1 bombers quite oppressive in large numbers. Although going to be a bit dangerous now, as this base has just been absolutely demolished. 2 more chickens walking in. What little eco remains is not going to remain much longer. And it's going to be an unfortunate situation. No bitch is going to be left with next to no economy. He's going to have no bitches and no economy. And that is if he survives. It seems as though the chickens may not be able to get up to his comm in time. Chickens with their flak, they will slowly kill off T1 bombers, but when you're slowly killing off T1 bombers, you're in a tough position when there's 100 of them on screen. And first chicken going down momentarily, and no bitch is going to be left on 51 mass a second, which this point in this game may as well be food stamps. As a lot of his ASF land on the ground. A Wasa out on the field for Boxeroo, trying to be protected by Millenwise. Has some ASF in the area. Although it seems the air fight are going to be microed by no bitches quite well. Doesn't lose any more than he has to. He needs to make sure he's not flying over AA at any point though, and needs to not try and chase us down. Even if you kill off all of these ASF, you are still kind of on a timer. Steck also has T3 air, and I'm sure there's another player on Team 1 with T3 air. These teleport SCUs, you can just see small incursions by them building T1 PD. The Awasa comes in for Boxeroo and drops its payload onto the core, who has been kind of bullied. He was fighting 3v1 for a while there, and he's now getting shot by an Awasa that is going to come through and drop a bomb onto the base of Millenwise, and get basically Control K bombed in the middle of the base of Millenwise. Or not Millenwise, at the base of Steck. Don't know why I called Steck Millenwise. Sorry, you all are not. You aren't very confusable people. I don't know. I don't have an excuse on that one. Very different people. Here in the middle, a Megalith with a large group of mostly T1 support, staring down a pretty dicey situation. Multiple chickens and T3 army now out from Aaron. Wouldn't be surprised if there's another chicken even under construction for Millenwise. And despite that very nice push in the mid game, starting to look quite desperate. A Fat Boy being ignored by a GC though. Oh wait, no, these are on the same team. Never mind. I'm just dumb. Still got a Fat Boy on the field for Duality. Working on a Novax. Shameful display. And yeah, don't know if you all just heard that coughing fit. Don't know if I muted the mic in time. But hopefully not too many more left in this cast. If you all, I mean, you all wouldn't have heard it. I'm gonna edit it out if it is in there. As we crest the 47-minute mark, let's look at the economies. Team 2 massively ahead, 500 mass a second, if not more ahead. And overall reclaim values, Team 1 doing a lot better on reclaim, meaning that the total mass difference is only about 200,000, which I know that's very optimistic, or if we're being honest, it's about 300,000, which is very optimistic considering that's a game ender worth of mass. But you have to be optimistic in situations like these, as this northeastern side, we've just seen no bitches get evicted, and it doesn't even seem as though he's going to be able to rebuild. Just a very unfortunate situation. We almost had something similar happening earlier for Duality in the southwestern side, having that same level of success, but Fergus managing to hold on, and now has a Monkey Lord about to kill the last Fat Boy that's on the field right now for Duality. It's going to be very unfortunate. The Monkey Lord's going to go down to this this Harbinger plus Ooh? Okay, it does go down. I was about to say maybe it doesn't. Desperation is real. Multiple Novaxes being spammed out by Depony, deciding standoff tactics are his only way left to win the game. And I think Boxeroo was like, I already chose standoff tactics like 20 minutes ago. I started building teleport SCUs. We missed it, but that Megalith died valiantly, fighting 3 chickens and a GC. And I think this push might be the nail in the coffin for Team 1. I don't know if they quite have the capability, other than maybe this fire base out of Depony, to stop this kind of assault that's coming to their doorstep. Fergus now working on a disruptor artillery station. And Team 1 is going to need a slight, or a major miracle at this point to come back into this game. So I'm going to go ahead and speed it up as much as the game will let it. And you can just watch this combined arms of force from Team 1. SCUs, GCs, chickens, Authams, Harbingers, Asylums, T3 shield generators for Seraphim because we don't know how to say the damn name of them. All pushing forward in unison, all together, combined in their efforts to be wiping what seems to be Stek off the map. They all seem to be vectoring towards the base of Stek. Nobody wants to walk near the base of Depony. It's a very hostile environment. Boxeroo loses another Awasa, this time getting very little for his mass investment. Although the reclaim in Team 2 territory, if I had to name that territory. Most of the map is Team 2 territory at this point. And No Bitches has a support commander trying to build a heart around him. Which is quite possibly one of the funniest things I've seen. Also one of the most BM. One of the most just why are you still hitting him? He's already dead. I am Seraph Her. Alright. The gender confident chicken going down. Jean-Claude Van Damme. And I know I just said that and like people are gonna be like, why the fuck did you say it that way? Because I can. The 3 chickens going down. The GCs for some reason shamefully not trying to help their Seraphim allies, or I guess more honorably you could say. Holy crap, broadsword of overcharges kills off a GC basically by itself. It does manage to kamikaze trade, I guess, get off a couple of kills onto the SCUs. Always some it seems like a very expensive trade of units going on over here on the western side. Awasa coming in. I guess you throw enough Awasas at an issue and you can kind of expect it to go away. Although at this point, you're getting the range of... Ooh, the Novax down here dealing massive damage to Boxeroo's air grid. Which is very unfortunate for the Red Seraphim, although I'm sure he is still sitting on one of the higher economies in the game. He still has more economy than... Or no, he doesn't have more economy than the man using the Novaxes against him. Although the GCs do walk in along with the Awasa dropping a bomb on top of Depony. I think Depony is either going to go down or he's lost the Novaxes. He's lost the fire base. And that is very much so going to be he lost the game in my opinion. As it's looking more and more hopeless for the blue UEF. Was that another Awasa bomb? It was another Awasa bomb. Going off the economy of Deponi, who now is yet again under 200 mass a second for the umpteenth time this game. Wow, whenever you're like congested and shit, try and say umpteenth. It's very difficult. Your body does not want to let you say that word. Fun fact, things you didn't need to know but now do. Chicken over here trying to help out No Bitches, who did die to that SCU earlier. I'm sure you all won't be upset with me for missing that one, because I caught the heart. Microchip throwing GGs in the cot in the chat. Boxeroo has been memeing this entire game. Loses that SU, but has been having a grand time overall. And Aaron has just decided to expand across the map and is on the strongest economy in the game and has how many Harbingers? Aaron, you beautiful son of a bitch. Keep doing this. This makes me happy. This many suck boys should be like a standard. Every time you play FAF, you should have to produce... you should have to at least produce triple-digit suck boys every session. You have to play until you get that game where you produce at least 100 suck boys. Because that's what we need in our lives. More suck. Soul Ripper out from Legend of the Stars, still trying to hold off all of the aggression on the ground from mostly Aaron now. The core, who we haven't talked about in a while ever since he lost that position in the middle, trying to fight back, does have a chicken over here, is trying to push down this area. Boxeroo still using Awasas, and very soon we'll be surprised if we don't see those going for the main bases and maybe even Control K bombing to help close out this game. It does feel like that. Feels like Team 2 just trying to close out the game as they're building things like disruptors, artillery, shotgun, and all. Awasa drops a bomb on a bunch of Othams, Stek Control Ks, which that was either Control K or the disruptor fire killed a Pigeon or something. The Stek goes down. And the game gets a little bit smaller, and the map gets a little bit smaller for Team 1 each passing second. Megalith, it's gonna be killing off a lot of Harbingers. Although Harbinger's probably decently okay at dealing with a Megalith. They're fast enough to get in range. The Megalith does a certain amount of overkill on them. They have a decent DPS, so once you get a bunch of them in range, they just start to chew down the HP of that Megalith very quickly. As they push forward into the base of Deponi, going to be losing his air grid, which has been producing those T1 bombers for such a long time. Mass T1 bombers coming in, targeted onto the comm of Deponi. Lots of T1 bombers going to be going down in this first wave, but Deponi, I think, going to be going down. Wow. Are they missing? No, they aren't missing. Deponi going down rapidly in HP each second. Oh, he gets a rank of veterancy. A strange time, but the T1 bombers or a Harbinger or a brick. It was either the T1 bombers or a brick from Fergus manages to kill off Deponi. And up here in the center, Chicken defending against Rambo SCUs for Core, who's also contending with Nawasa. Legend of the Stars inheriting that base. What little remains of it. And the game wrapping up ever so slowly. Awasa comes in, drops a bomb, almost finishes off the Chicken, and takes down a shield generator. Some strat bombers come in for good measure to kill some structures. And overall, game coming close to over. Team 1 kind of capitulating. Legend of the Stars, they're trying to build anti-nuke. Don't think that's gonna matter too much. I think there's 3 disruptors online now. 1, 2, maybe it's just 2. Yeah, it's just 2. Bearing down on that position of Legend of the Stars. And double Awasa coming in. Slowly gonna whittle down this base of the core. Legend of the Stars about to be taken down by a what I would only assume to be a artillery shell, if not a nuke, since the anti-nuke just went down. Aaron's built another GC. Yep. And how many Harbingers does he have now? 116. Solid number. Core about to die. Has some chickens sitting in their mating ritual, or their mating hut. 4 pigeons and 2 shield, or 4 shield generators. Legend of the Stars walking out with his SCUs to fight the Harbinger hordes. The legions of suckboys, which will slowly kill them off. I love how everything but his comm has been attacked, it seems. Three chickens. Are they also going to ignore the comm? This comm seems allergic to being shot. Or, I guess, that's not the right word. It seems everything else seems allergic to shooting it. It does finally go down. And, Core, the last remaining survivor of Team 1, gonna be killed off by, well, everything. Oh, nope. You control K's, I think. Or that was a strap bomber snipe. Either way, thank you all for joining me today. You all have been beautiful. Sorry if this wasn't the best cast. I hope it was still enjoyable. Thank you to the Patreons. Thank you to the channel members. You all are beautiful. See you in the next one. Bye-bye!